She said she saw us. You want to survive?
Would you quit flopping, Cynthia?
Huh?
Would you quit flopping?
my great privilege to introduce to you the valedictorian of the class of 1993, who will come now and deliver his remarks, Lee Collins.
Thank you, Chaplain Waddell. Dr. Cunningham, Dr. Campbell, Dean Sykes, faculty and staff, family and friends, and you, my fellow graduates. It is a great pleasure to be up here today speaking to the HMA class of 93. Being the valedictorian of this class is a great honor that I will never forget, and I accept it as a symbol of every senior's hard work to reach this point. I would first like to start with several thank yous that are long overdue. First, my parents, the ones who gave me life and the ability to achieve my goals. You have taught me everything I will need to succeed in life. You have sacrificed yourself to support and encourage me. I think you probably could have driven to China and back 20 times with all of the athletic events that you have attended. Mom and Dad, I love you very much. Mom and Dad, I know I don't say it very often, but thank you. I'll never be able to repay it. Angela, my sister, friend, confidant, and role model, I thank you for all your support and trust. I love you. I would also like to thank all of my friends. You have all touched me in a special way. Mike Cunningham, although you might not realize it, you've been a role model and source of motivation for me. Thank you for pushing me in both athletics and academics. Brian Sykes, you've always been there for me when I needed to talk. I thank you for always having the right answers. A person who just recently came into my life has taught me to appreciate my life and how lucky I am. This person has kept me going this year. She has made me smile and cry. Thank you for everything, Sandy Van Haffen. I love you. I would like to thank Colonel Carl Burke and Colonel Carlton Ramsey for teaching me a great deal over the several years in their classes. I expect some phone calls next year. Two more men who have touched my life a great deal are Coach Richard Motley and Coach Dennis Fuller. They both gave me a chance on their teams and then pushed me to my limit to make the most of those chances. I owe all my athletic achievements to these two men. Thank you both very much. These are only a few of the people I would like to thank. And I know that every senior has certain people they would like to thank. In my struggle to decide what to talk about today, I received advice from my fellow seniors ranging from, I don't care what you talk about, just make it short, to, it doesn't matter how long it is, just make it inspirational. Hopefully, I will appease everyone. Even with the great advice, I still didn't know what I wanted to say. So I decided to look up in the dictionary, valedictorian and valedictory. Webster's told me that I was supposed to be giving a farewell address. I am the one who's supposed to be saying goodbye. Well, I don't want to say au revoir just yet. I want to say hello. Hello to our future, the class of 93's future. They call this the commencement ceremony. Commencement means beginning, and this truly is a beginning. When we walk out of those doors in a few minutes, it will be the beginning of the rest of our lives. We will all have the chance to start over. We will have a chance to rebuild our reputation. I urge you to make the most of this chance to better yourselves and prepare yourselves for success in the future. I have a few things that have helped me and will hopefully help all of you in whatever you might do next year. First, I would tell you to always be self-confident. Believe in yourself. I do not mean be cocky or aloof, but be proud of who you are. In my opinion, self-confidence entails many aspects of a person's life. Self-confidence allows a person to stand up against the crowd and state what he believes. A self-confident person never needs to put down another person to prove that he is tough. In fact, self-confidence keeps a person from having to prove anything to anybody. True self-confidence allows a person to keep his integrity. Self-confidence admits a mistake and works to correct it. The loss of integrity means a loss of self-confidence. A homeless man in New York City told my father and me, "I might not have much, but at least I still have my word." If you have nothing in this world, at least have integrity and self-respect. In order to gain respect from anyone, you must first have respect for yourself and others. Finally, I would say for you to be self-confident and stand up for your ideas, but to also be open-minded. Listen to other people's ideas before being certain that you are right. Remember, some of the best ideas come from compromise. We've all learned a great deal here at Hargrave. We may not admit it or realize it yet, but Hargrave has changed all of our lives for the better. I urge you to take what you have learned here and use it to be successful. I would like to leave you with a poem that a person who is very close to my heart wrote. It has inspired me many times this year. I love you all, and I will finally say goodbye with this poem. If there was ever a time to dare, to make a difference, to embark on something worth doing, it is now. Not for any grand cause, necessarily, but for something that tugs at your heart, something that is your aspiration, something that is your dream. You owe it to yourself to make your days here count. Have fun, dig deep, stretch. Dream big. Know, though, that things worth doing seldom come easy. There are good days, and there will be bad times when you want to turn around, pack it up, and call it quits. Those times tell you that you are pushing yourself, that you are not afraid to learn by trying. Persist, because with an idea, determination, and the right tools, you can do great things. Let your intellect and your heart guide you. Trust. Believe in the incredible power of the human mind, of doing something that makes a difference, of working hard, of laughing and hoping, of lazy afternoons, of lasting friends, of all the things that will cross your path this year. The start of something new brings the hope of something great. Anything is possible.
Jesus said, "The field is the world, good seed of the children of the kingdom." And I think the outstanding singing could certainly be called one of the children of the kingdom. From the 8th grade on, the comments that I received the most understanding student I've ever had of other people. Compassionate, dedicated, tolerant, good disposition. For the person with whom you work here at Hargrave, outstanding work. In your speech last night, you talked about the whole person, about the attitude of learning rather than the attitude of being taught. You talked also about acting our beliefs. For the qualities of an outstanding senior, which involves scholarship, athletics, and loyalty to the school, he certainly is an example of all of those. For those of you who were absent yesterday and last week, he got the Senior Bible Award, the Science Award, the Sportsmanship Award. He has an NROTC 4-year scholarship to Vanderbilt University, and he is the salutatorian of his class. Daddy Bill will really be proud. I would like for Mr. and Mrs. William O'Neill easily to come forward and accept this with William, and I would like for his family to stand because I'm sure he has a lot of them behind him today.
Citizenship Award, Citizenship Medal. The criteria for this medal is similar to the one that has just been given to Outstanding Senior, but there are some distinct differences for citizenship. The recipient must obviously be a member of the senior class. They are to have exemplified service to the Hargrave community. Now, service can be defined in different ways. We are looking at their athletic service, their religious, their academic, and their military service. We are looking also for a person who, while he may or may not be at the very top of his class academically, has come a long way. In other words, has fulfilled the academic potential that they have. Strong in character, strong in attitude, loyalty to the partner, courtesy and cooperation, leadership and initiative. Characteristics that are sometimes very difficult for young folks in this day and age. A process to select the nominees and the eventual winner. A committee of various faculty and staff members was formed, and we met on several occasions. Reviewed all members of the senior class. Came up with 3 finalists, 3 nominees. We were instructed to come up with 2. We couldn't reduce it beyond 3. And my congratulations to all 3. The 3 names were presented to the entire faculty to vote. They have voted, and we would ask, please, the parents of the recipient to please come forward, along with Cadet Marion Earl Coates. presentations this morning, but before I start with the Langford Fellowship, first I'd like to congratulate the two recent winners, recipients of the awards. Also, I'd like to recognize and congratulate both the valedictorian and the salutatorian on their speeches. I think they've made it very difficult for our speakers to follow them. I think they have shown why they are the first and second in class. Now, before I get into recognizing individuals, I'd like to recognize a special group. That's the group seated behind me. And thank them for their hard work and dedication to Hargrave. They are, in fact, Hargrave. They have had, I think, a very positive influence on the young men and women sitting out in front of me. And I'd just like to thank them personally for their efforts and their hard work this year. I also had the opportunity to read a couple quotes this past week, which I think help explain what we feel is an important part of the education process at Hargrave. The first one was that the aim of education is the knowledge not of facts, but of values. And I think we make every effort at Hargrave to teach values. We also teach facts. But I think the overall program is much more concerned with the values that are instilled. The second one was what is learned in high school depends far less on what is taught than what one actually experiences in that place. And I think again here, Hargrave offers the student an opportunity to not only improve their academic skills, but because of the military and Christian environment, to develop discipline, structure, set goals, and most importantly, develop a relationship if they did not have one with Jesus. Miss Barksdale, who is the house mother over in the middle school, used a verse of scripture at the middle school award ceremony that I think describes what we attempt to accomplish at Hargrave. It's found in the book of Luke, and it occurs when Jesus is 12 years old. His parents are returning home from Jerusalem after spending 3 days searching for him, finally finding him in the temple. It's the last verse of chapter 2, and it says, "And Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man." I think our cadets grow in wisdom through our academic program. I think they grow in stature with the assistance of the military and athletic programs. They grow in favor with God through our Christian environment program. And they grow in favor with man through the boarding experience, the Christian programs, the athletic programs, where they learn how to support each other and be teammates. They have developed lasting relationships with many of the friends they have made over the years of Hargrave. We are committed to helping our students grow and mature in all those areas, and will continue to work on improving the environment of Hargrave, which is critical to the learning process. On behalf of the faculty and staff, we thank all of you for giving us the opportunity to work with your son or daughter, and we hope we have been able to have a positive influence on their development. Now the Langford Fellowship was established in 1987 by the Board of Trustees to honor William T. Langford Sr. for his 39 years of association with Hargrave as a cadet, teacher, dean, and president, and to honor Margaret Holland Langford for her 38 years as teacher and partner of the president of the Academy. A fellowship is granted each year to a member of the faculty or staff at the Academy for the pursuit of summer study in his or her own discipline or in an unrelated area with the expectation that that study can be applied to the classroom or benefit the Academy as a whole. The recipient will be known for the next school year as the Langford Fellow and will deliver an address to the faculty, community, and to the cadet corps during that year. This year, the award, which has been announced, but we formally give at graduation, will go to Harry Hale. He received his undergraduate degree in English from Hampton-Sydney College and a master's degree in secondary school administration from the University of Virginia. After graduating from Hampton Sydney, he reported to Hargrave as an English teacher and has just completed his 22nd year at Hargrave. During that time, he has taught 6th, 7th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade English classes. He added postgraduate English to that list this year. He has coached football and has coached the rifle team each year with the exception of a short break for a couple years ago. He and his wife Judy, our librarian, have been very loyal supporters of the activities of the school. Whether it's an athletic contest, dances, or plays, they support the cadets. Colonel Langford's observation when he hired Lieutenant Colonel Hale 22 years ago was that he was a young man who had a desire to teach and genuine interest in the education of the youth. I can say after my 3 years that Colonel Langford's observation was extremely accurate. Lieutenant Colonel Hale will be spending several weeks in London and Stratford-on-Avon as a member of the UNC Charlotte Shakespeare and Performance Summer Institute program. He will attend performances by the Royal Shakespeare Company in London and Stratford. As a member of the program, he will perform scenes as well as study them. At the conclusion of the program, he will spend some extra time in England, traveling to locations used in the Shakespeare play. We will be eager to hear about his studies when he returns. My pleasure to officially recognize Lieutenant Colonel Harry Hale as the recipient of this year's Langford Fellowship, and if Harry will come down with his wife, Judy. We have two very special people that we'd like to recognize today that have been part of the Hargrave family. And we want to make sure they realize they still are. And in some cases, I think we don't do justice when they leave school. And sometimes it takes us a little time to realize how great they were and what a contribution they made. First one is Dr. Landon Spratton. Dr. Spratton, after 4 years of driving down each June from Fort Union to teach summer school at Hargrave, Colonel Cosby finally found a position and convinced Landon Spratton this was where he needed to be, educating and influencing young men. Thus started a 33-year relationship with Hargrave that ended in 1989 when Dr. Spratton retired. One periodically sees people who seem to, as we say, have it all together or have it under control. We sometimes question if those are only first impressions, or am I the one who sees this person as special? But when everyone who has ever known Landon Spratton says those things, one realizes that he's been touched by a truly good person, one who really does have it under control. Spratton was born and raised just west of Atlanta, and out of high school attended Georgia Tech to become an engineer. World War II interrupted his education, and after the war he returned to Georgia Tech to finish his education. During his first year back at school, two major events took place in Spratton's life. He began corresponding in Texas with his wife, Jane Caroline, and he had a calling from the Lord to do his work. Without hesitation, Spratton went to Texas to visit with Caroline and enrolled at Hardin-Simmons University in Abilene. After his graduation from Hardin-Simmons, Spratton and Caroline married and immediately moved to New Orleans, where he enrolled in the seminary, where he completed master's and doctorate. His calling was so strong to teach in a Christian education environment that he wrote to 65 Baptist-supported schools to work as a chaplain, to teach religion, or anything. A call finally came from Colonel Witcher at Fort Union, who addressed him as Dr. Spratton, which sure sounded good to him. And so did the offer to come to Fort Union, even though it was in the math department. After 4 years at Fort Union, Spratton came to Hargrave. Landon Spradlin has always done for others. He worked hard in the classroom so others could learn. He was a friend of others. He was a friend so others could feel a sense of relief. He was a man of God to the extent that people wanted him to touch their lives. And when he believed in something so strongly, he went about it in a way to make people around him rally for the cause. Brad always wanted to fly airplanes, never did in the service, so he took it upon himself to learn to fly in the late 60s. His enthusiasm for flying was contagious in the school with the students and in the community. It was a community project, with Brad heading the effort and the students of Hargrave being the beneficiaries. Beneficiaries of that was the birth of one of the most successful flying programs at any secondary school in the nation. Brad's enthusiasm for competition carried on to the wrestling match. Though not a wrestler himself, his physical conditioning, work ethics, and dedication produced 10 years of outstanding teams. His own sons, Landon Jr. and Brian, both Hargrave graduates, became outstanding wrestlers and competed with success on the national level. Those who know Brad never need to be reminded of how he has influenced thousands of students' lives during his years at Hargrave. Colonel Joseph Crosby, Hargrave's third president, is quite frank when he says, Landon Spradlin is a great man. And there is a saying that might be best suited for Spradlin. He went around doing good. A teacher, a department chair, a coach, a man of God, a true friend, he certainly did go around doing good. We would like now to recognize Dr. Landon Spradlin and his wife Caroline. Receive the oath. As you please stand. And Caroline. Second young lady we'd like to recognize, Miss Blanche Cruz. A couple of years after the Wright brothers made their first flight in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, and 1 year before Hargrave Military Academy was founded, Miss Blanche Cruz was born into this world. She was born in the same house where she lives now, on South Main Street in Chatham. Some of you may not know Blanche, but many of you have seen her at work. See, Blanche Cruz has so much pride in this town and community that at any time of the day, one can see Blanche planting, watering, weeding, not only the beautiful flower garden in the middle of South Main Street, but acting as the very welcome, unofficial advisor on clipping, pruning of the town's flowers, shrubs, and trees. No wonder Chatham has won numerous awards from the state on its beautification. Blanche grew up in Chatham, graduated from Chatham Hall, and attended Longwood College. Her first position at Hargrave was in the early 1930s as the assistant to Colonel Camden, the school's president. As Blanche says, in those days, everything went through that office except the dirty laundry. The dirty laundry now goes through that office. Through the years, Blanche would periodically leave her employment at Hargrave to raise her family. She would return from employment in special projects from time to time, helping out for a few years in one department or another. Once her family was grown, Blanche returned to full-time employment, serving the Academy in several areas. She retired in 1973 as a registrar of the Academy. To Blanche Cruz, Hargrave was a family affair. When her late husband, Mr.
Mr. C.B. Cruz completed his tour of duty in the armed forces in World War II. He began his service to the Academy in the business office. Her mother-in-law, Mrs. Mary Cruz, and sister-in-law, Georgia May Cruz, were two of the most loved people to ever work at Hargrave. Son John was a cadet officer in the graduating class of 1951. Blanche also has 3 grown daughters. She is a town and community institution. She makes us all proud to live in our town because of her continued efforts in the beautification projects she and her friends undertake. We at Hargrave are certainly pleased to recognize Miss Blanche Cruz as one of our Hargrave family. We are proud of her efforts, not only through the years past, but even in the 1990s, as she talks to people about our school, offers her help in adding to the beauty of the Hargrave campus, and in general, just knowing Blanche is one of those special people that we are privileged to call a true friend. Before I let Blanche say something. I know this is a special weekend for her, as one of her best friends from her childhood is spending this weekend with her, Miss Marcia Goodday. Has not only come from West Palm Beach, Florida to stay with Blanche, but she will today watch the graduation of her great-grandson, Hunt Dyer, of Columbia, South Carolina. We also have the certificate, which I'll read before I let Ms. Blanche do this. It's a certificate of appreciation to Ms. Blanche Cruz in recognition of her unselfish efforts, faithful service, and continuing dedication to this institution and the community of Chatham, Virginia, given this 29th day of May of the year of our Lord. Thank you, Blanche.
He's allowed me to say a few words. I was to make them feel. I ask all of you cadets, seniors, juniors, and all other cadets to always keep in touch with Hargrave.
Retired as a registrar, we've asked her to help Miss Betty Morton handing out the diplomas to the honor graduates to start their ceremonies on. I have one other person that's not really a recognition and wasn't on the program, but I thought I could not let her leave without saying something. This is my secretary, Marie Motley, who will retire on Monday from Hargrave. Marie Motley's husband graduated from Hargrave. Her 2 sons graduated from Hargrave. And now on the day of her retirement from Hargrave, she sits among you, not for her to be recognized, but to honor her only grandson and his graduation from Hargrave. And not to detract from her grandson's graduation, we at Hargrave think Marie is very special also. During her 23 years at Hargrave, Marie has had one position. She served faithfully the president of the academy as his secretary, and in later years his administrative assistant. Her personality, her candor, her smile made many visitors to come to the president's office feel welcome. Her administrative and organizational skills are such that there is never a question about the quality of the work that leaves her office. She said that it is a standard of excellence. I guess above all, even beyond her work habits and skills, would be her dedication to our academy. One could say that with so many in her family who are Hargrave people, it is easy to be dedicated. But to hear Marie talk to people in the waiting room, on the phone, or to a new family at school, it is a sincere love for something she believes that is good for young people that let her speak from her heart. We do not believe she has missed the Board of Trustees meeting in all of her 23 years. And her warmth in caring at those meetings has made every member of the board feel wanted and needed by the academy. She just believes that we are something special. So Marie, this is your day also. I do not believe you are saying goodbye, because I know you enjoy riding to the airport with Quimby to pick up the boys. And I know you and Quimby will still enjoy coming to the ball games. would be now to enjoy more time together on your daily town and campus walks. And certainly the white sand of your favorite beaches at Daytona. If Marie would just stand and be ready. You know it's difficult for anybody becoming new, and Marie has certainly helped me adjust in those 3 years. I think as Lee mentioned, we'll be calling her too, I'm sure. Another person, or two people I'd like to thank, and that as I look down below me and see the flowers, are Eva and Earl Spencer, who are individuals that come in and just do good things for us at Hargrave. And Eva and Earl were in early this morning and did the arrangement in front of the podium, so I'd like to thank them. I have two more things that I will try to do. I told Lee Collins when I heard his speech that he would have a difficult time with the first part. It's an accurate description. I will have a difficult time with this part. Something I would like to try to say. Today's graduation will begin a new phase in the life of each one of these cadets. And this year's graduation will also mark a new phase of my life. I've spent my first 3 years here with the sun as a member of the Corps of Cadets. That will change today. It's been fun having that special relationship that comes with having a son or daughter at school. I've enjoyed having many of his friends at our house. And know that it will now require a special effort on my part to ensure our house remains open for the kids. In some ways, I look forward to this day arriving. I know Mike is already ready to give up the title of the President's son. But I also have to admit I've been ready. Give the last second, that'll be good. I just want to thank him for being a great President's son. Now I should be able to make it. Indeed, we have one other presentation. In this case, Cadet Major Mike Cunningham will make and represent the class of '93. On behalf of the class of 1993, I would like to present this check of $2,200 to Hargrave Graduation Academy. And this money is to be used for the PA system in the classrooms.
Probably not the best timing to bring him up. It's really my honor now to present our speaker this afternoon. Dr. Frank Campbell is a native of Roanoke, Virginia. Received his Bachelor of Arts from Carson Newman College, Bachelor of Divinity from Southeastern Baptist Theological Seminary, which was later upgraded to a Master's of Divinity degree. He also received a Master of Theology and Doctor of Ministry from Southeastern Baptist Theological Seminary, and finally, a Doctor of Divinity from Wake Forest University. He is a member of the Board of Directors of the Danville Area Chamber of Commerce, serving as first Vice President in 1987 and President in 1988. He is also a member of the Board of Directors of the Memorial Hospital in Danville and is President of the Danville, Pennsylvania County United Way. He was a past chairman of the Council of Independent Colleges in Virginia and is on the Board of Directors for the Virginia Chamber of Commerce. He has written numerous books and published various articles. He's also traveled in 14 countries, European countries, and Israel. He is presently the president of Aver College in Danville, a position he has held since 1985. I have had the pleasure of attending numerous meetings in Richmond and other locations with Dr. Campbell, where he has become the recognized spokesman for the group of Baptist colleges and schools. More importantly, during those past 3 years, he has become a friend and a person I respect a great deal. It is my pleasure to present our commencement speaker, Dr. Frank Campbell.
Well, the president did not get tearful with my introduction, so I believe we're home okay. To President Cunningham, other members of the platform party, to the faculty and staff, to all of the parents and friends, and especially to these graduating seniors, I want to thank you for the opportunity and privilege to be here. I do not delude myself that 10 years from now you will remember who your graduation speaker was, nor do I delude myself into believing that every one of you have been waiting in rapt anticipation for my remarks. And in spite of the fact that as I entered, both the academic dean and the chaplain said, "Now, Frank, you have 45 minutes." The president quickly acted like the president and cut that by 2/3 rather quickly. So the address will be, I hope, brief, but I hope something about it that you'll remember. Because the year is 1993. And you will remember it for many reasons. More than any other, I guess, you will remember it for the event that is taking place this morning, and you should. There are, however, many other events that mark 1993 as another pivotal year in the steady march of humankind. The big news this year came out of Waco, Texas. It was puzzling and baffling and hard for many people to understand. It ended after 81 days with the self-styled Messiah David Koresh finally realizing his biblical vision. For him and 85 of his followers, the world did end in blood and fire. And we wonder, why would anyone follow a leader like that? This was the year when the television and the news magazines told us about a European war in a hard-to-pronounce place called Bosnia-Herzegovina. The world seemed to stand by again and watched as another human race was raped and murdered almost into extinction. And we ask, can anyone make any sense out of what is taking place there? This was also the year in which a new memorial opened in our nation's capital. There are a lot of memorials there, as you know, and most of them are very inspiring. From those that honor our presidents like Washington, Lincoln, and Jefferson, to those that bring tears to our eyes like the Vietnam Wall, this new memorial will bring mixed results. It is a memorial to the Holocaust and to the terrible things that one part of humankind did to another. One of the most amazing statistics I've read in a long time, I noticed recently this spring, when the surveys show that approximately 20% of the students graduating from high school in the United States think that the Holocaust didn't even happen. It did. We need to learn from it. This was the year that brought a new administration in Washington. The first 100 days brought a mixed report. And while there were high promises held out for improvements in health care and higher education, most Americans are wondering if perhaps we are going to have to once again settle for a little less. 1993 was the year the American society began to wrestle seriously with the problems of sexual identity. Most of us don't understand it. Those raised in the context of traditional family values are having real problems with the demand of those with alternate lifestyles who want full recognition. The recent march on Washington, not at all unlike the civil rights marches of decades ago, has produced mixed reactions. Your generation is going to have to come up with the answer to this problem. 1993 found more people talking and continuing to do less about the nation's major domestic problem, the deficit. It is a problem that seems to have no answer. Everyone knows that the answer has something to do with sacrifice and doing without and giving up a precious program or an entitlement, and we're all for that, as long as it's someone else's precious program or entitlement. And our generation is going to give that problem to you. You will not thank us for it. 1993. It is a year when there are many new books to be read, some of them quite good. It is the year in which television sank even deeper into mediocrity, and even the legitimate theater has begun to strain our belief in its portrayals of reality. 1993 may be remembered as the year we became fully sensitive to our environment. Since the founding of this country, we've never worried much about our environment. We've taken it for granted. And while there are still certain popular radio commentators who try to tell us that there is no such thing as a black hole, and they poke fun at the concept of acid rain, most Americans know better. We really do have a problem with our environment. You cannot continue to abuse the environment and expect it to last forever. We're going to give that problem to you too. 1993. What a year. When you began the academic year last fall, the Braves lost the World Series. Then the Cowboys, of all people, won the Super Bowl. And then North Carolina won the NCAA basketball championship. And if one of them was your team, you thought it was a great year. And you will remember 1993. Of course, they are the big things. They happened and they'll be recorded in history books. You will remember the things that happened to you. The tests you took, the grades you made or should have made, the dates you had or the lack of them, the discipline that came to you from studying and living at this wonderful place that will guide and stay with you well into your future. Some very good things are about to happen to you, and some great opportunities are ahead of you. And that's not just the tired old rhetoric of any commencement speaker talking. It really is a fact. Your life, for all practical purposes, still stretches out ahead of you. The big choices of your life, you're still going to make. Whether you're going to go on to college and get a degree or not. Don't debate that one. Just go. You'll be better off for it. Whether or not you will be married, that's a choice you'll have to make. I wouldn't debate that one too much either. If you meet the right person, do it. Because if you get the right person, you'll be a better person in the context of a home and family than you would if you do not. But if you don't make it, then the world doesn't end and you're not less of a person. You just need to move on. Your career choice is still ahead. You'll get lots of advice about that. Choose the one that brings you personal satisfaction. Work at a job you don't hate. And try to find one that lets you help and contribute to someone else's life. The main point I want to leave with you this morning is that you're free to choose any or all or none of the above. You can choose not just your career, but how you'll go about the performance of that career. You'll get the chance to choose the partner you will share your life with. No one in your family is going to arrange that for you. You're going to go out into a world that gives you a genuine opportunity of freedom unmatched in all of history. And the question this morning that just begs itself to be addressed, really the only one is, how did you get all this freedom? And the answer is, you received it because somebody else paid the price. Freedom is not free. Never has been. From the very founding of this country, your ancestors have been fighting wars, both military and political, that you would be free. Liberty is a word filled with emotional meaning in the context of our kind of country. Most of you know that the words inscribed on the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia are these: proclaim liberty throughout the land to all the inhabitants. What a lot of people don't realize is that the context of these words does come out of the Bible. The Old Testament, to be specific, in the book of Leviticus. To be even more specific, in Leviticus, the 25th chapter and the 10th verse, there is this quote: in this way, you shall set the 50th year apart and proclaim freedom to all the inhabitants of the land. During this year, all your property that has been sold shall be restored to the original owner or his descendants, and anyone who has been sold as a slave shall return to his family. That's the end of the biblical quote. Really interesting to me that today, those people who talk the most about liberty are usually those who are the most concerned about conserving it and not changing it with any new radical ideas. Nothing could have been farther from the Leviticus context. For what the Leviticus story describes is an event that occurred every 49 years in Israel, making it what the Hebrews called a Sabbath of Sabbaths. That in it, all the property had to be restored to its original condition and owner. The restoring of the land to the original ownership after 49 years was a practical confession on the part of these people that the land belonged to God. It was an acknowledgement by the Hebrews that they were passing guests who were simply allowed to enjoy this world by God's grace. All sales then were for a limited time. And the basic principle was that all land was God's gift. And the verses refer to a redistribution of the land, which is obviously a very radical social idea. There's some words in the New Testament that follow the same line. Right in the church at Corinth, the Apostle Paul in 2 Corinthians 3 said, for where the Spirit of the Lord is present, there is freedom. Now, I'm aware that there are some people who've used this verse as an excuse for total individualism, that everybody can go out and do their own thing. That again misses the context. For what the larger context deals with is the fact that God, who was once seen distinctively by the prophets like Moses, but by all who followed after him like looking through a veil. Then the author reminds us that those who've been liberated by God's Son can look upon his face, and by looking more and more to Jesus Christ, we become more and more like him. So the verse in Leviticus is a call to share the goodness of this land in which we live for the benefit of all. The verse in Corinthians is a call to freedom, which challenges us to become like the God who freed us to live in this land. Now, this is not meant to be a sermon this morning. In fact, that's the end of it. But there does need to be one reminder. For if you continue to spend your life studying through this book called the New Testament, it will be even more surprising to know what the Lord sets you free to do. He sets you free to turn the other cheek, to go the second mile, and to do to others as you would have them to do to you. Freedom really makes you responsible for someone else. That's why the hero of the Good Samaritan story was the one who felt he had to stop and help. And that's why we're called on to bear one another's burdens. We are quite ready most of the time to let somebody else bear our burdens. That's why we can't solve the problem on the deficit. But if you are free, you are at liberty to bear another's burdens, yet you're not free to demand that they bear yours. So really, what kind of freedom do you have this morning as you walk across the stage and grab your diploma and go out and face the world ahead of you? Well, you have simply the freedom to become. You have the liberty to grow. There are challenges and opportunities and adventures from which you can choose. The truth here is that every person sitting in this senior class as the opportunity to choose to be the kind of person they want to be. Oh, sure, there are some rules and some limits set by life, but within these limits, you can choose to be the kind of person you want to become. And there's also another truth, and that is that as human beings, you are always in the process of becoming. You're never going to arrive. I expect fully to retire in a few years with a lot of books I still wish I could have read, a lot of seminars I wish I could have gone to, places I wish I could have seen. There is no end to what you can receive from this life. See, I think that we become the kinds of persons we tell ourselves we are. The Bible reminds us about that too, that as a person thinks in his heart, so he becomes. That means that in whatever context we live out our lives, we become what we choose to be. And that doesn't mean that we're going to all decide we want to be rich and materially successful, or by thinking positively we can get rid of all the anxiety and frustration. That's nonsense. They go apart. What is true is that by choosing, we can decide to be a kind and worthwhile person, thus being free. We can decide that we can spend our life creating and shaping ours and others' lives. We are choosers, and even if you find yourself at a point where your choices are limited, you can still choose what you want to do. I think the most important decision you will make will be the one you make in the area of your spiritual life. Whether you choose to accept God's way and be identified with Him through His Son, that's a choice that makes a difference in my judgment, but I want to emphasize to you, it's a choice you make, nobody else. It has to do with your attitude towards yourself and God and others. I think this is true because freedom is really the basis of hope. Without the freedom of adventure, there's no room for hope. Unfortunately, a lot of people in the world, they don't think there's much hope or much freedom. I don't buy that. I think the story of America is an exciting story, and I don't think anybody's wrote the finish to it yet. It's a story that gets better and better, and what we need are more and more patriots to tell the story. I want to be a patriot who stands and says, not my country right or wrong. That's not what I want. I want my country to be right. When it's wrong, I want it to be corrected. And I want to do everything I can within the context of my faith to do that. We will never reach the time, I think, when we say we've got total freedom, for the adventure always continues. The effort to be free never ceases, and as the price was paid for your freedom, you probably are going to have to pay a price for someone else's. You remember how radical Jefferson was thought to be when he wrote the Bill of Rights? Or can you recall what they said about Andrew Jackson when he worked so hard to make democracy available for the common man? We all remember the scorn heaped upon Lincoln when he began the process of freeing the slaves. In the early 1900s, before children were set free from the drudgery of industry, and it was not until the 1920s that women were given even the right to vote. So gradually the vision and the bounds of liberty and freedom get enlarged. But we haven't reached the end yet. Adventure and struggle go on. Constant effort is the price of freedom. And that is why neither a nostalgic return to the past nor a mad rush to the future is the way to freedom. The way is by a steady measuring of what we must be and do to share the benefits of liberty and freedom for all people. Finally, in truth, freedom is never a possession, it is an opportunity. I think it is specifically faith in Christ that sets us free, not a political process. But even in that context, freedom must be exercised in the common life we share. If you are free, you don't have to live a life of brokenness. You can live one of wholeness. If you're forgiven, you can be relieved of the burden of guilt. And if you allow God's grace to be a part of this liberating process, then you know you're accepted by Him, and that truly is liberating. We're also free to love each other. In fact, that's the nature of freedom. That basically is what has made the American experiment work. We show love for others by supporting them and encouraging them. And that's when we are the most free. In fact, I've observed through the years that when we are engaged in serving and caring about others, we're more truly what God intended us to be. You see, doing one's own thing isn't freedom. And if we choose today to become something we were never meant to be, then we cannot become what we were meant to be. Think of that. If you think that drugs are the way to get high, then the inspiration of your life And if you believe that sex is ordinary and can be participated in like people play tennis, then it will never be sacred and special for you. And if you believe that what you want is all that matters, then you'll never have a real relationship, and thus you'll be lonely. The reason that faith in Christ sets a person free is so you're not any of those things, so that you can serve others. Now, I am a lot closer today to my retirement date than I am to my high school graduation or any of my college or graduate school graduations. But I still believe that even in my life, with lots of miles on it, that the best is yet to be. And I'm grateful that I'm free to work, grateful that even when the uncertainties crowd in, I am certain that I am part of something a whole lot bigger than myself. So I want to rejoice with you today that you're in that group too. To rejoice with your parents, to rejoice with those who have taught you, to rejoice with the administration that has worked so hard to make it possible for you. We are free. Yet we must live in hope because everything is not yet fulfilled. There is an adventure ahead. So much to see, learn, and do. And without hope, there's no room for freedom, and without freedom, you dare not hope. Yet we're free today. Free to become exactly what God intended you to be. You're liberated to live in hope, and in so living, discover that you're free. It's your choice. And as you start making the right choices, you know what you're going to remember? You're going to remember 1993, when you started making them. I wish you today God's grace and peace in doing that. Honored graduate and valedictorian Lee Ward College, Chatham, Virginia. Honored graduate and salutatorian William Lanier Easley Jr., Chatham, Virginia. Honored graduate Michael Sean Cunningham, Chatham, Virginia. Honored graduate Jason Ryan Gray, Greenville, North Carolina. Honored graduate John William Andrew Jenkins, South Boston, Virginia. Honored graduate Stephen Peter Cook, Wilson, North Carolina. Honored graduate Jeffrey Dale Lane, Lumberton, North Carolina. graduate Edward Donald Ward Jr., Raleigh, North Carolina. This completes the awarding of the honor graduates. Yaqub Ibrahim Al-Araini, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Mohammed Abdullah Al-Ghaid, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Abdulaziz Abdullah Al-Jwaidan, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Muhammad Abdullah Khalifa Al-Qubaisi, United Arab Emirates. Walid Mohammed Al-Saloon, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Bryce Andrew Allison, Chatham, Virginia. Christopher John Alton, Edith, North Carolina. Ahmed Sami Saeed Ahmad, Mohandasin, Egypt. Jackie Ray Atkinson Jr., Dryford, Virginia. Toby Dion Blair, Northeast Maryland. John Allen Buchanan, Yorktown, Virginia. Joseph Myron Carr, Danville, Virginia. David Wayne Compton, Williamsburg, Virginia. Marion Earl Coates, Lynch Station, Virginia. Matthew James DiGirolamo, Ringgoes, New Jersey. Troy Anton Delk, Somerset. Stacy Lynn Dodson, Ringgold, Virginia. Dexter Augustus Duncan, Brooklyn, New York. Stephen Hunt Dyer, London, South Carolina. Marwan El Gohari, Cairo, Egypt. Ihab El Sharif, Cairo, Egypt. Merrick Frederick Fletcher II, Birmingham, Alabama. Kenneth Franklin Fryer III, Key West, Florida. Danville, Virginia. Christopher Michael Gray, Virginia Beach, Virginia. Thomas Robert Fresh, Boca Raton, Florida. Jenny Dare Hankins, Chatham, Virginia. Michael Robert Hanrahan, Greenville, North Carolina. Stuart Matthew Harrison, Huntsville, Maryland. John Bullock Hocker, Fayetteville, North Carolina. Aaron Kyle Holder, Garner, North Carolina. James Bradley Morahan, Millbrook, Ohio. Steamer Humphreys, Island Beach, Florida. Donald Ellsworth Inns, Jr., Virginia Beach, Virginia. Joseph James Esquerdo, Yonkers, New York. Travis Steve Jones, Vernon Hill, Virginia. James Alexander Leahy, Louis, Maryland. Scott Allen Marable, Virginia Beach, Virginia. Christopher Robert Mercandetti, Centerville, Massachusetts. Stephen Lee Messer, Northern Virginia. David Lee Motley, Raleigh, North Carolina. Harrywell Quinby Motley III, Chatham, Virginia. Ibrahim Mohammed Mugrin, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. John David Alverio, Bridgeport, West Virginia. Sethu K. Palat, Virginia Beach, Virginia. Miguel Angel Picaron, Caracas, Venezuela. Troy Allen Pulliam, South Austin, Virginia. Matthew Jordan Rowland, Durham, North Carolina. Gary Stephen Steers Jr., Chatham, Virginia. Maceo Samuel Sloan, by hand. Richard Andrew Grant Sneeden, Elkview, Maryland. John Wesley Stokes. Chad Stewart Suttle, Vernon Hill, Virginia. James Gary Schwartz Jr., Wilmington, North Carolina. Clark Taylor Swindell, Raleigh, North Carolina. Christopher James Tormina, Charlotte, North Carolina. Gary Lee Tidwell Jr., Charlotte, North Carolina. Clyde Sykes Wade, New Orleans, Louisiana. Robert Esley Walton Jr., Virginia Beach, Virginia. Miles Joshua Wilson, Orange Town. Shadi Saki, Cairo, Egypt. We have two special young men attending Hargrave this year in cooperation with the United States Naval Academy Foundation. Receiving appointments to the United States Naval Academy from Colonel Cunningham are Danny Lynn Weber, Leatherwood, Moscow, Tennessee. And Michael David Lee, Springfield, Virginia. Colonel Cunningham and ladies and gentlemen, the class of 1993.
I now proclaim that with the singing of the alma mater and the playing of taps, the 84th school year of Hargrave Military Academy is officially closed. Request that the audience please stand for the singing of the alma mater, found in the back of your hymn sheet.
Egypt. Up here, boy. Hey, Egypt. Yo. Get here. Hey, my man. It's it. Is it? Hey, honey. Honey. Hey, nose. Nose. I had her hair.
Give it to us.